How Devotion Became Self-Abandonment. The Moment I Took a Stand and Broke the Pattern, by Angel Gold. I dreamt of him on New Year's Eve, awakened and on the move. To Banff, he says. I'm up for Banff always. You know I like it hot. The springs shall do just fine. Oh, but wait, there's a crystal store. Something in there is mine. But the hot springs, they can wait, my love. You always must follow the signs from above. Go in there, shop for yourself. You deserve for your heart to sing. Tears fell as my heart chose the most precious ring. But why? I don't need it. Who said anything about need? Trust me, my love. It will all make more sense soon. Always know I love you to the moon. A shamanic dreaming stone now wraps around my finger. The call comes in an hour later. He's with us no longer. I'm surrounded by his brethren, discussing his gold things. Our youngest wolf cub announces, Dad wanted us all to have rings. I gasp as my heart tears just a little more deep. His kids don't know it all, as fresh tears fall. The vow I swore to keep. The vow I swore to keep. How do you keep a vow to someone who has crossed over to the other side when the ones you were meant to teach, protect, and love no longer want what you carry? That question unraveled me because I had done the teaching. They carry my medicine and his. I'd tried to protect them, and in doing so, I became dangerously close to losing myself entirely. I had loved with a depth I didn't understand at the time. It felt like devotion, not only to a physical family, but to a connection to the universal life forces as we both danced on the edge of life. Him battling cancer, and myself battling a bacterial infection that almost succeeded in killing me as well. Being in the 10th percentile of humans who survived the infection with no initial Western medical intervention. Profound and experimental interdimensional energy work was created with this warrior. He faced death with a courage that most humans will never encounter in this lifetime. I was honored to be a part of his journey in the most terrifying way. He chose and leaned into the uncomfortable and the unknown as a way shower, and documented his entire journey of experimentation with his body and natural medicine, refusing Western medicine. In the last 9 months of his life on Earth, he dragged me along in his extreme experiments. I said yes, and I kept showing up, pushing my own edges of what it was possible as a healer in this human body, knowing that I was safe with this man. He left this planet as the new year and COVID came upon us and changed the planet and consciousness forever. Did he know this was coming? I had loved with a depth that at that time felt like devotion, but in truth, it had no edges. I didn't just fall. I disappeared and then punished myself. We did our best to survive the fall. Was it pretty? Absolutely not. How do you keep the teenager on this planet when his father dies a feral death and his biological mother sues him 24 hours later for the house that his family lives in? COVID, death, litigation, division. What kind of healer are you if you can't even heal your own family? I leaned into the ultimate shamanic death and allowed myself to soften the landing as I dissolved. I leaned into the ultimate shamanic death and allowed myself to soften the landing as I dissolved my human form and sank deep into the earth medicine, where we go to reconnect within, where we understand I, me, we, us, all. I heal through me. I hear them through me. I hear him through me. But where are the edges of him and me? How dare he leave me? Years later, with my now deep roots spreading far and wide, I do not move. This is where I reside. You want love, you want light, you know where to find me day and night. I am done chasing your sacred yes. I hold my vows deeply. My yes lives in my chest. That part of my story will never change as I witness the young ones go out onto the range. As there's not just one in this life of mine. My mission on earth this time is one of unconditional love. I am blessed with the mirrors that have shown up and the lessons bestowed upon from above. To all my children that live in my heart, Mama Wolf is always here waiting with copious amounts of love and art. New Year's 2020. My beloved partner, brother, plant medicine mentor, apprentice, and warrior protector lost his battle with cancer. It has taken me 6 years to start writing about this in public, yet thousands of words and heartache have been shared in my apprenticeships and my healing circles. Why share it all, do you ask? When we go through traumatic events, do the work, come out the other side. You bring medicine from the dark with you. And when I say dark, I mean the earth. When you choose to dig out your traumas, it's like digging in the dirt to reveal the lost peaches, like an archaeological hunt. I know Peter is here with me as I read this chapter. His nickname was Peach. And I just said, it's like digging in the dirt to reveal the lost peaches. My grandfather was a miner, and his last name was Gold. This process literally lives in my DNA, bone memory. I chose to lean into my lineage and rely on the gifts that were bestowed upon my family and share my medicine on the how to live a shiny, golden life on this planet we call Earth. I was recently called a dark witch by someone who was afraid of my power to subjugate me. A small smile creeps across my face, even writing that sentence. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing my medicine, recognizing my divine connection and my devotion to Mama Gaia. My roots are deep and strong, yes. Some people will fear that. It's none of my business what anybody thinks of me. I do not move. This is where I reside. I do not need your yes, as mine lives in my chest. As I connect and call in powerful energies from the other side, those who are not scared will show up for this ride. My tiger, my teacher, my soul mirror with him. Grateful for the medicine he still shares when the veil is thin. I let the identity that I build dissolve piece by piece until there's nothing left to hold but the truth that remains underneath it all, the willingness to dig through the layers of who I thought I had to be in order to recover the parts of myself that never actually left. They just went underground. And I wish I could say that that is where the lesson completed itself, that the vow I swore became something clean, something integrated, something I could carry forward without distortion. But that wouldn't be true, because I did it again. Different man, same vow. I gave my soul away in the name of love again. I called it a sacred devotional purpose. But if I'm honest, it was self-abandonment dressed in spiritual language. That was the moment that everything cracked. And I saw through the veil and the deception. You see, this experience was my practicum in the dark arts. And this one was a master of manipulation and extraction. I played the same tape from above, projecting the love and protection of a real spiritual warrior onto him. That assumption I made that he would protect me and honor me was my lesson. He made it easy for me to abandon myself, and it took me almost losing my life to finally see what we had both been doing to me. Softening my truth to stay connected. He's a spiritual fire captain, a community hero. He wouldn't take advantage of me. We have a storyline that was handed to us by the universe and a mission to complete. He just needs more time. He was only 6 weeks clean and sober when we met. He just needs more time. That's not love. That's how you disappear. I knew going into this experiment, it was going to be a gamble. I had many people warn me not to take this mission on. My former 30-year trampoline coach within made the executive decision for this soul basket. Every time you get up on that trampoline, you risk your life. This is not a theory. You have experienced life-altering injuries. You have experienced witnessing athletes die. This spiritual practicum is life-threatening. Are you ready to take a chance on this new game where you do not know the rules and you can't trust that he will honor your no yet? Does the title Fire Captain make him safe? Full details of my experience with this human can be found in the Brave Healer Productions books, including How to Be Brave, Joy Unleashed, From Burnout to Burning Bright, and my own book, Shamanic Leadership, all on Amazon. The reality is, I have now been clinically diagnosed with CPTSD in the middle of us all creating this medicinal book for the world. The crash was real. And once again, it's the children who get dragged into a toxic storyline that they did not ask to be a part of. And once again, an entire family unit was torn to pieces by a man who refused devotion after marriage. I'm grateful for experiencing what real love and devotion looked like prior to this experience. A soft smile forms on my lips as I pause, allowing my wrists to feel the weight of my arms pressing on the keyboard. The glint of the shiny silver metal wrapped around my middle finger catches my eye, leading it to the diamond-shaped charoite stone embedded in the metal fitting. Humor being one of the deep threads that ran between Peter and I. The laugh is deep as I hear him hum through my soul. It's on your middle finger for a reason, love. Make sure you flip it up and show the world. No means no. You are surrounded by wings of protection and a shamanic dreaming stone on your hand. The practice. I knew I needed help, a framework to help shift my behavior in the gap of the unknown. Love is indeed allowed to have boundaries. I built something I could actually live inside of. It had to be something steady enough to hold me in moments where I used to lose myself without even noticing it was happening. What became clear over time was that the awareness alone was not enough. I could reflect, I could process, I could make meaning out of everything after the fact. But what mattered was the moment itself, the point where everything begins to shift, where the body registers something before the mind has caught up. That's where the pattern recognition had to live. Not as something I named later, but as something I could feel while it was unfolding. The quiet tightening, the subtle leaning in, the almost automatic movement toward connection, even when it pulls me away from my own center. Those moments used to pass right through me, and now they don't. I trained myself to notice them as they arise, to stay present with what I feel, and to remain rooted in my own body, even when the pull to leave feels familiar. There is a steadiness there now, something I can return to without needing to search for it. That steadiness became a practice. I call it stand. It lives as a way of meeting myself in real time with awareness, presence, and choice. A way of staying connected to my own truth while still allowing love to exist without letting it take me away from myself. The practice. S. Spot the override. The moment I feel myself shrinking, softening, explaining away what I know is true, it's rarely loud. It shows up in subtle shifts in my body, tightness in my stomach, a hesitation in my voice, hair stands up on my body, a quiet urge to make something okay that isn't. This is where it begins. In the almost invisible moment where I start to leave myself. Now I don't rush past it. I recognize it for what it is, a signal, not a flaw. Awareness is an advanced human process. T, trust the first signal. Before the story, before the justification, my body speaks first, and now I listen. There's always a moment of clean knowing before the mind steps in to reinterpret it. I have learned that this first signal carries more truth than anything I can think my way through. I've learned that this first signal carries more truth than anything I can think my way through, and self-trust is the medicine. Trusting doesn't always feel comfortable, but it feels honest, and that's what I follow now. Self-trust is medicine. A, anchor the truth. I get clear inside myself before I speak it out loud. No edits for comfort. This is the space where I hold my own knowing without immediately shaping it for someone else's understanding. I let the truth land fully in me first, without softening it or negotiating with it. From that place, what I say carries weight because it hasn't been filtered through fear. Self-truth is your weapon. N, name the boundary. Clean, direct, without performing or managing their reaction. I say what is true for me in a way that is grounded and clear, without over-explaining or trying to make it easier to receive. The focus is no longer on how it lands for them, but on whether I stayed in integrity with myself. There is strength in clarity. D, do not negotiate. Because every time I used to bend, I broke. Discomfort still comes both internally and externally, but it no longer dictates my decisions while I hold self-trust and self-truth. Holding the line is not about control or walls. It's about self-respect. I stay with myself even when it will be easier to give it away. Your relationship with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship you have. Quoted by Robert Holden. I thought my vow was to love them no matter what. Now I know the vow I was meant to keep was to never leave myself again. That knowing didn't arrive all at once. It settled slowly into my bones these last couple of years and was tested in real moments where I would have once chosen connection over truth. As the grief of a loved one dying and the next loved one discarding me fades into my past, the experiences soften into clarity and medicine. The devotion I once gave away began to return to its rightful place as I fought for my life and the right to be seen and heard. Nobody puts baby in the corner, quoted by Johnny Castle and Patrick Swayze. I learned that both holistic medicine and Western medicine can work together. And sometimes that is exactly what's needed when you are in crisis. Not only balance within, but balance with the medicine and the professionals that you bring into your world. The practice of discernment in the medical field was the best practicum to recover from a relationship with somebody on the front line in management. I said no to many doctors, looking for the most aligned one to work with. As I have learned the hard way, not all frontline workers are serving from integrity from behind the uniform. And I understand deeply why Peter chose to not allow current Western medical cancer protocol to be a part of his earthly experience. Stand and keep yourself safe out there. If you see yourself in this, if you recognize the pattern of loving so deeply that you lose your own center, this is your invitation to choose differently, one moment at a time. You don't have to figure it out all alone. You can find me inside the Fireheart Mystery School on School, where we practice this work in real time. Or reach out for a private session if you're ready to go deeper and rebuild your self-trust from the inside out. My bio. Angel Gold is a shaman, author, and creator of the STAND framework. What distinguishes my work is not theory, but pattern recognition, clinically documented in the 95th percentile in neuropsych testing in May 2026. Her work sits at the intersection of leadership, nervous system resilience, identity reconstruction for high-capacity individuals navigating burnout, moral injury, and collapse under sustained responsibility. She brings over 25 years of experience in sport performance environments, trauma-aware leadership, somatic regulation, and lineage-based consciousness work. Her education includes long-term training in the Toltec and Andean traditions, applied nervous system stabilization, and high-performance mentoring contexts where clarity, containment, and trust are non-negotiable. I have worked with elite athletes, executives, founders, and professionals whose lives demand precision, confidentiality, and practical integration, not spiritual theater. I understand the cost of carrying vision without reciprocal capacity. I understand what happens when responsibility outpaces support. I understand how quickly collapse becomes reputational, relational, and operational if it is not addressed with discernment. My medicine is sassy, sacred, and surgical. Say less, mean more, and move on. If you're done shrinking for almost and hungry to guard the gates of your life, come into the Fireheart Mystery School on the platform School. Weekly podcasts, The Inner Den is on School and YouTube. Oracle card readings, library of guided meditations, storytelling videos of all Brave Healer Productions chapters I've written, evergreen courses from beginner to advanced Toltec wisdom. And my sacred mantra for this lifetime, always iron no, velvet yes, and sacred life.